Is camping actually a cheap hobby, or is it just another money pit? I've been camping for my whole life. I've camped in tents, I've camped in campers, I've camped in truck camping setups. The answer is not as simple as people may think, because depending on how you camp and your setup and your style of camping, it can either be a very cheap, fulfilling hobby or another high maintenance money pit of a hobby. I myself have always been guilty of having too many hobbies. It's something I have a real problem with. I've been snowboarding, surfing, snowmobiling, drifting, into motorsports, skateboarding, into videos, e-bike riding, all these things. I have way too many hobbies. It's a real problem I have. Things getting expensive and being an adult in the real world, I've tried to kind of downsize my hobbies to find something a little more cost effective to do that I can kind of feel good about and kind of focus my energy into outside of work. Coming from motorsports, where a single weekend can easily cost me over $1,000, camping was a nice refresher to get kind of grounded and not feel so bad about having a good weekend, spending some time out in the woods and not spending a ridiculous amount of money. Compared to drifting, camping very much does feel cheap. But here's the thing. There's different levels to camping, and there's some levels where it feels very cost effective, and there's some levels where it is very much not cost effective. We're going to talk about that today. Different levels, how much it may cost you, and how to kind of keep yourself in those lower tiers. That way it doesn't turn into a money pit, and you can still find the joy in camping without having extreme amounts of equipment or having extreme amounts of money to spend every time you go camping, where it becomes such a hassle that you don't really want to go anymore. Let's break this down into 3 levels, kind of go over each level, where I sit, where you may sit as a viewer, and kind of things to avoid and things to look forward to. We have level 1, which is where most people start at. That's where I started at, is the super budget camping level. You have a tent that you sleep in, or maybe you already own a pickup truck and you have just a regular fiberglass cap or a little canopy on the back of the truck. You have a sleeping bag or a sleeping pad. You have a cooler, maybe one of those Coleman grills or something like that. That's it. This is level 1 budget camping. This whole setup, obviously minus a truck, is well under $500 for you to camp just like this. And this is how I started off, and this is how I camped for years. This is how I'd get out for camping on multiple weekends when I was younger. I'd go out with my friends or with my girlfriend, go camping for the weekend. You can realistically do this for under $500 and probably under $300 if you're super strategic about where you spend your money. You can go to cheap campgrounds, state parks, places that cost $30 a night or so or under, maybe even some places that are free. It's a very simple setup. You can have your whole campsite set up within an hour. This is how most people start. This is where I started. It's where I recommend anyone who's getting into camping can start, because it's very low budget, low barrier of entry. At this level, camping is very much a cheap hobby, but you're missing some of the creature comforts, and if it rains, you're in for probably a rough weekend, because even though most tents are pretty waterproof, they always get wet somehow inside of it. So it can turn a weekend of relaxation and camping into a moist trip out. After the level 1 setup, we move up to level 2, which is kind of the mid-tier setup. This is the average person who's been into camping for a little while. This is kind of the sweet spot where you should stay when you get into camping to make sure it doesn't turn into a money pit. This is where you kind of buy a used travel trailer, or maybe very cheap new travel trailer, a truck camper. You have some better cooking gear, some more amenities. Again, you don't have a super fancy setup, but you have enough. If it's a rainy weekend, you have enough to be able to get out of the elements and still kind of enjoy your weekend. This can cost anywhere from maybe $4,000 to even $15,000 on the higher end, but you're still kind of in that mid-tier where it's not super expensive for you to go camping, but it definitely, you spent a lot of money getting your setup ready, but it still doesn't cost you that much money to use, which is the important part. So now when you go camping, you can go to RV parks or smaller campgrounds. You can still go out in boondock, and you can still find kind of dispersed camping and some of the smaller campgrounds with some very woodsy places. A little tougher to maneuver, especially if you're a tow behind camper, than obviously a tent site. More flexibility, but it also takes you a little bit longer to set up versus a quick set up an air mattress in the back of your truck, or to set up a tent. I mean, depending on the kind of tent, some of the tents are pretty crazy, but it takes a little bit longer to pack, a little bit more involved of a setup. This is where the actual cost of all your equipment starts to add up, gets a little bit more expensive, but kind of it increases your experience of camping and makes it a little bit more enjoyable. So I think it's worth the extra cost up front, kind of sweeten the experience of camping and make it a little more convenient for you. Once you get past the initial cost of all the equipment, you're at the point where camping becomes pretty cheap. I can take my travel trailer, especially my truck camper, to somewhere where campsites are completely free. And even my travel trailer, it's small, so I can take it to state park campsites that are pretty small that I can back the trailer into and it's not massively inconvenient. I can still take my equipment out and go camping for a couple $100 for the weekend, and that makes it pretty budget. I know it costs a decent amount of money to get to the point where you can go camping, but now that I have it and it's ready and able to use, the maintenance is pretty low, the cost of upkeep is pretty low. So it's at a nice sweet spot where it's still budget. This is basically where I sit, and this is where I don't want to exceed. I have my travel trailer for when I go camping with my wife and my son and my dog. And then I have my truck camper, my outside camper's cap, so that when I go camping either alone or with my dog, I can go kind of get out there in the woods a little bit more. Both setups are very budget and cost me a little amount of money to actually use. Level 3 of camping is when it starts to get a little crazy. This is when you kind of start turning a cheap, reasonable, attainable hobby into a complete money pit. This is when you say you buy a brand new 30-foot trailer, or you buy a brand new fifth wheel, or even if you buy a lightly used fifth wheel. Basically, this is a big camper that you probably spent over $30,000 on. Full amenities. You're basically towing your house behind you. I live in a small house, so some of these trailers probably have almost as much square footage as my actual house that I live in every day, which is absolutely insane. Here's the things. Now, you can't go to those small private campsites. You can't go boondocking unless you live maybe out west and the boondocking is a lot bigger. Here in New England, you can't really take a 30-foot camper boondocking without some serious planning ahead of time, because it's going to be tough to find a spot for it. You can't get the small back-in camp spots at every campground. You need to get a pull-through and make sure you have enough room. Really plan your routes with this big camper. It becomes a lot more inconvenient to use, not to mention you need to have a big dually or a diesel or something big to tow this big camper around. You're limited to access. There are some campsites where you literally can't take your large camper. Some of my favorite state parks in New Hampshire, you could never fit a 30-foot camper in any of those state parks. There's just not enough room. It wouldn't work. And now you're limited. You have too big of a camper to be going to some places. And now you're not really camping anymore. You have too many amenities. It's turned into more of bringing your home with you than an actual camping experience, which I think takes away some of the fun of it and some of the enjoyment of actually camping. And I mean, not necessarily roughing it, but living differently from the way you do in your everyday life. The costs go up quite a bit. You have much more maintenance on this new high-end camper. There are way more things to go wrong on it. You need a bigger, fancier truck to tow it around. You have more axles, more tires, more things to fail. The actual cost of using your camper is going to go up significantly. This is the point where camping kind of becomes a money pit. It's not a cheap hobby anymore, especially with the way campers depreciate. If you spend a lot of money on a new camper, that's going to cost you a lot of money in the long run. Camping doesn't necessarily have a one price. It doesn't have a one size fits all. It's important for you to realize the point that you want to be at for camping. That way you don't let things get crazy and spend way more money than you should. Before you take out that loan on that 30-foot camper, realize that there's going to be some consequences. It might not be as easy and convenient to take your camper out and go camping anymore. You can keep it super affordable. You can stay on those lower tiers, tier 1 and tier 2, for a long time and still very much enjoy your camping experience. And I think that's very important, to not let it get too crazy to the point where it costs so much money that you almost feel guilty going out. The price of going camping and whether it's a cheap hobby really depends on you. What you decide to spend your money on and what you decide your setup is going to have consequences on how much it costs you every time you go out. If you're one of those people who's perfectly happy just with a tent, a cooler full of beer sitting by the campfire, by all means, keep doing that. I did that for years, and it is some of the most fulfilling trips I've ever had. If you want to have a camper for a little more comfort, say you have kids, you have to bring more stuff, get a camper, but definitely I'd recommend to keep it small. That way it doesn't turn into a whole fiasco every time you go camping. Camping is only cheap if you keep it that way. You're the one who decides, so kind of be mindful of when you're buying things for camping, that you're not getting too much equipment and kind of turning into a whole thing every time you go camping. For me, being around level 2, that mid-tier, it's definitely the sweet spot. I have my small travel trailer that is still very budget and attainable to use. My wife and my son will absolutely love it. We have a couple trips planned for this summer, which I'm very excited about. And it doesn't make me feel guilty at all spending a couple $100s to spend a weekend or a week away, because that is very cheap and that's very cost effective. I also have my outside camper's pop-up cap, which again is basically just a step up from tent camping. It really doesn't take me much setup time at all. It's much nicer to be off the ground and be sheltered up there in the tent. It's still a very budget way to camp. Obviously, once you get past the cost of entry. My travel trailer cost me $12,000. An outside camper costs $6,500. Those are still semi-budget friendly ways to camp, because once you actually buy them, you spent most of the money, you can go camping, and they still hold their value. After you use them, if you decide to change your mind and sell them, you're going to lose a little bit of money, but not the entire purchase price. Especially when comparing this to my motorsports hobby, this is a super budget hobby. If I can spend $200 for one weekend, especially if I bring my wife along for both of us to eat, this is cheap as hell. When I went drifting, I would literally spend $1,000. I'd go through 6 brand new tires at least in a weekend, spend $350 on an entry fee, spend over $300 in fuel, not even counting whatever broke on my car or if I crashed or anything like that, and food. Drifting was a very expensive hobby, and comparatively, camping is so much cheaper, and I'm very happy I found it. It's a very enjoyable way to spend my weekends. I still enjoy drifting. I'll still go drifting a time or two, but camping kind of fills the void for weekends and getting out for weekend trips and doing some traveling. Anybody watching, do you think camping is actually a cheap hobby, or has it gotten a little out of hand and more expensive? Do you still think it's cheap, or has it cost more than you expected? I know the prices have just gone up recently, so probably most people think it costs more than they expected. Drop a comment below where you might think you sit amongst all these tiers and how your experience with camping has gone. Thank you for watching. We're going to be getting out camping soon, I promise. The weather is breaking. We have a couple more things I want to update on my truck before we go camping. I just installed a solar panel on the hood of my truck, which I'll be using to charge my power station or my truck battery when I go camping. We'll be installing a solar panel on the roof of my outside camper's cap, so that way we can have extra solar power when we go camping. We have a couple more fun projects. Hope you guys enjoyed my wood-fired hot tub video. I thought that came out pretty cool. My wife's super happy with it, and it is awesome to use on the weekends. If you haven't seen that video, check that out. That's definitely enjoyable, and if you're into off-grid stuff, I bet you'd enjoy making one. It's a very budget way to have a nice hot tub and a nice relaxing night. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Hopefully you'll stick around for the next one, but thank you for sticking around for this one. Have a great night, everybody.